All right, welcome. You know that feeling when you're standing in an aisle, just staring at a wall of padlocks and wondering which one is actually going to do the job? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to demystify the world of high-security padlocks from one of the biggest names in the game, Mul-t-lock. So let's unlock the secrets to choosing the perfect one. So let's just start with this. Is your padlock strong enough? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, that could be the difference between peace of mind and a really serious problem. We all do it. We just grab any old lock. But is the one protecting your valuables truly up to the task? And before we dive in, why Mul-t-lock? Well, just so we're all on the same page, this isn't some random brand. They are a huge name in high-security locking solutions, a true global leader. They're trusted for everything from residential sheds all the way up to massive commercial warehouses. Okay, first up, let's get into the fundamentals. A padlock might seem like a simple little device, but a lot of the time it's the single thing standing between your valuables and the outside world. So why does choosing the right one really truly matter? And this quote really just nails it. A padlock isn't just a hunk of metal, it is the first line of defense for your property. Making an informed choice here means you're not just buying a lock, you're buying confidence, you're buying peace of mind. Now, not all security needs are created equal, and to make this super simple, we're going to break down Mul-t-lock's range into a really clear spectrum from your everyday protection all the way to maximum security. This is going to help you perfectly match a lock to your specific situation. On one side of the spectrum, you've got medium security. These are typically made of solid brass and use that classic pin tumbler mechanism you're probably familiar with, perfect for general, everyday use. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have high and maximum security. Now we're talking about hardened and solid steel construction, advanced patented cylinders, the kind of thing designed to protect really high-value assets and even critical infrastructure. So let's start with that first category. These are the workhorses, the reliable padlocks you'd use for common, everyday applications, where what you need is just good, solid security. For this level of protection, Mul-t-lock offers two excellent options, the Knee series and the Garrison series. You can think of these as your go-to choices for securing all those everyday items. So what's great about the NEE series? Well, it's how it balances all the key features. You've got that reliable pin tumbler mechanism, a solid brass body, which is great against corrosion, and a hardened steel shackle to resist basic cutting attacks. The main takeaway here is that this is the perfect lock for lower-risk spots, maybe indoors or somewhere sheltered. If you need to secure a gym locker, a cabinet at work, or your toolbox, the NE series is an excellent, super practical fit. Stepping things up just a little bit, we have the Garrison. It also has that durable solid brass body, but it adds a double locking mechanism. What's that? It means it grips both sides of the shackle, making it twice as hard to pry open. Plus, its cylinder is rekeyable, which is a fantastic feature for flexibility if a key ever gets lost. This basically makes the Garrison your ideal all-arounder for general home security. Think outdoor sheds, residential gates, and other common household uses where you need that reliable layer of protection. But what if good enough isn't good enough? Now we're moving to the high end of the spectrum. This is where the technology gets really serious, for those applications where security failure is simply not an option. And right here we have a whole suite of locks designed for serious protection. The C Series, the Interactive Plus, the G Series, and the top-of-the-line MT5 Plus. Each one of these represents a pretty significant step up in defense. The C Series and Interactive Plus, these guys fall into the high security category. They feature hardened steel bodies to resist brute force attacks, and boron alloy shackles, a material so tough it practically laughs at most bolt cutters. But here's the real game changer. Patented key systems. That means no one can just go make a copy of your key without your unique card and permission. That's total key control. So, where would you use these? Well, you've got to think bigger. Self-storage units holding important belongings, the gates of a commercial property, or locking down valuable equipment on a worksite. The stakes are higher, and so is the security. And now for the best of the best. The G Series and MT5 Plus are rated for maximum security. They've got solid steel bodies for ultimate resistance, double ball locking mechanisms that prevent a thief from using a thin piece of metal called a shim to pop the lock open. And they have incredibly complex cylinders using advanced telescopic pin technology. I want to pause on that term, telescopic pins. What does that actually mean? It's this really sophisticated design where tiny little pins sit inside of other pins. This creates multiple shear lines that have to be aligned all at the same time, making the lock extremely resistant to common bypass methods like picking and bumping. It's truly next-level stuff. The applications for this level of security, well, they really speak for themselves. We're talking about protecting high-value goods in shipping containers, securing entire warehouses, and safeguarding critical infrastructure where a breach could have some major consequences. Okay, wow, that was a lot of information. So how do you actually use all that to pick the right lock for your needs? Let's break it down into a simple framework. This comparison table is basically your cheat sheet. You can see it all at a glance. The NE and Garrison for everyday use, maybe in that 25 to 70 pound price range. Then you've got the C and Interactive Plus for valuable assets, sitting somewhere between 50 and 200 pounds. And finally, the big guns, the G and MT5 Plus for critical infrastructure, with prices that reflect their maximum security features. It all really comes down to these three simple steps. First, assess the value. What are you protecting? Second, consider the environment. Is the lock going to be out in harsh weather? Is it in a high-risk area? And third, select your security level. Just match the lock to your real-world needs. It's that easy. And I'll leave you with this final thought. A maximum security padlock is incredible, but it's only one part of the system. It brilliantly secures the hasp. But how strong is the hasp itself? Or the door? Or the frame? Choosing the right lock is the absolute first step, but always think about the entire security chain.